Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, man. Subscribe to this channel. Hey, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from. If you rocking with Young Dolph, Big Scar, Gucci, anybody like that, man. So basically, they basically saying that it's confirmed that he had 3 chains, and so everybody's looking at it like we got to figure out who was all there and why they didn't stop him, because they told him that they could have gave him the thing to reverse it. They could have gave Big Scar that thing you can reverse it, like when the firefighters pull up and they spray it on somebody and it makes it so that they come and wake back up. They could have did that same thing to him, but like nobody had it, or I guess they didn't get there in time. So a lot of people was wondering like how much time passed by before they actually got the people to come to help him out. Because you got to understand, when they in Memphis in the hood like that and dude just fall out like that, you got to understand that a lot of people are not going to want to make any phone calls to try to get help. Like they're going to be like, act like they were never there. Basically, people is going to start disappearing like ghosts once they see that, oh, something went down, and they just start probably take off and leave, because they don't even want to be there waiting around when the people come to look and see what happened and actually carry him in the ambulance and go away. And they're not gonna want to give no type of statements. So you already know, as soon as that happened to Big Scar, that's when people are like starting to warm up their cars and start heading out, because they realize that they don't want to have their name pop up in the whole thing. And so that means somebody had to call the boys to come and like clean up the whole situation, to get him help, try to like get him to go in a operation or something, right? And so basically, somebody, whoever it is that made the phone call to get help, it might have been already like 20 minutes past, 15 minutes past. Like, what? They ain't do nothing after 2 minutes. Like, dang, y'all just sat there and stood there and watched, like, and you didn't do nothing after 2 minutes, or like, what's going on? Because nobody's saying nothing, and you know how it goes. Everything is all quiet. So we got to put two and two together and try to figure out what, out of everything people are saying, like what actually happened, how long did it take? Because you got to know that when it happened to Dolph, something different though, but when Dolph got caught up, they said it took 20 minutes for them to show up, and they were just down the street. And so if they in the same area, then that means that they was just as close probably, and they could have pulled up even sooner, or somebody could have called like way quicker. You can't just sit around and wait like he gonna come back up like he could just do that. When people out like that, they're gonna be out. They try to do the thing where they picked up his hand and then left it in the air, and it fell right back down. And at that moment, that's when everybody's stomach dropped, and they took 2 steps back, and they looked at each other, and they were like, dang. And then that's when they got the funny feeling, and like out of all whoever was there, some people started going back closer to the store. They were like, should we go get his cousin, his mom, or something like that? So that's when they were like panicking. They didn't know what to do, because they were like, what even was it? And so that's why, man, it's crazy. And condolences to Big Scar, everything, condolences to the family. But really what you got to understand is that nobody knew what to do. And so people got to be more like, you got to start, people should be taking classes. Some type of nurse would have been there. It would have been maybe a different type of story. But see, the way it is that everybody that was over there never even bothered to try to figure out what to even do in a situation like that. People need to be like experts, or try to know some things when it comes to like if somebody gets sick or whatever like that, right? And so if that happens, you got to know what to do in case it happened to one of your homies, and it happened to one of the homies, and look what ended up happening. Nobody knew what to do. So like people just need to like open their eyes and just wake up to the fact that you got to just know a little bit more, and you got to be prepared for things like that. You can't just be all fun and games until something happens. And the whole time that this is going on, it's like the people from the stores, like they could have went and probably ran and grabbed one of the old heads from the store that might have like known something better to do. Cause then they probably like 40, 50 or something, even 60 years old, somebody, and they might have been through more things where they're like, oh, you got to call them right now. Get him up, get him help. That's like some more urgency and stuff into the whole situation. But people got spooked because they all youngins, man. Like Big Scar was 22. So you got to understand, like 22-year-olds be hanging out with 18, 19, 20-year-olds and all that. And like people they grew up with and they immediate people they hang around is still all young. So not everybody is really like on the whole thing about knowing what to do or even how to do proper like medical attention or anything like that. The whole situation was just pretty much out of their hands and they didn't had no experience in it. But it's like at the same time everybody feels bad because that's their friend and everything, so they just had to sit and watch. And like people tried to come and the whole thing had Gucci Man and Pooh Shiesty in distraught. And it made it to where like Gucci Man didn't even want to have to like be the one to come out and have to write that on his IG to break the news to everybody, because that's how we all heard about it, was through Gucci. And he's the one that like came out and told everybody. So it's like, man, they like, we ain't hear it on the news. We ain't hear it from his family. We just heard it from Gucci at the beginning. And so that's another thing that I was like, man, this is crazy, because I'm sure like out of everybody to get the word out there and all that, they were like, I guess Gucci Man's gonna be the one that has to say it to everybody so he could let the whole like community know, his friends know, everybody from the hip hop scene. And so now it's like, they all reacting to it. Yo Gotti, Moneybagg, Yo, Black Youngster, like everybody in Memphis, they reacting to it like, man, this is crazy. And they just had this whole thing that whole happened with Dolph, and people still didn't even get over that. And so now for the same thing or a different thing or whatever, like just to have another person from Memphis just out of the picture like that, that's why it's sad. And everybody's looking at it like, man, it's too much. And so now you got to understand that the whole thing could have been probably avoided if they would have tried to like, if they were a little bit more smarter and knew not to get too lit like that, or if the friends would have told him, or like maybe even if the plug would have told him like only half or this or that, like we never know. It could have been a whole different situation. But now it's consequences have to be dealt with. Now it's a whole mess in people's hands that they got to figure out what to do. And this whole thing is still like they're not over it. Like it's still fresh in people's minds. And so the whole city of Memphis is like, man, not another one. And, everybody at this point got to understand that at some point, when is people going to come together to try to tell the youths, or try to at least give like a shed light on like a better way of trying to grow up or survive out there, man. It's like Memphis is one of the grittiest, toughest places right now. Shout out to everybody in Memphis, but like it's hard out there for people. And so you got to understand when they be seeing this and that and seeing their favorite rapper or the most famous person in their area, or probably the one with the most bread like Dolph at that time. It's like to see that and then be out of the picture, that's going to like make them lose hope or motivation. So people got to uplift and everything like that, bring Memphis together, and basically go out there and show your condolences to Big Scar, do the memorial, the mural, whatever, the same thing y'all did for Young Dolph. If y'all rock with Big Scar like that, you got to pretty much go out there and show support and everything like that. And so at the end of the day, man, it just got to be to where, you gotta know certain things, and it's tough to be out there growing up and all that. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like this video, stick around for the big breaking news on the next one. I'm gonna catch you there. Peace.